Hey guys, and welcome back to the layout once again. Today we're going to build a lift out slash access bridge for this portion of the layout over here. So I've got my visual aids to explain what we're going to do, and I also have a plan that I need to talk about. So let me take a quick break, we'll move over here, I'm going to try to explain what we're doing, and then we'll jump right into construction. Alright, so here's a quick SketchUp of the bridge that we're going to design. It's really just simple open grid benchwork, and I know this is kind of far away, but as you can see, just simple frame as I explained. The one difference is that these outboard pieces of wood are actually going to be 1x4s, whereas the end pieces right here are going to be 1x2s. So here's kind of a sketch of how this is going to work, but what's going to happen is these 1x4s on the sides are going to act as guides, and there will be another 1x2 piece that will be the exact same width of this that will just slide right up. And then it'll just kind of slot in. So that's what that kind of sketched in area is. That's what space this piece will occupy. So if I kind of hold it, ow, my bad. I got to move you over here. So I'll try to explain this. As you can see, we have this main piece across here, which is going to be one portion that's going to support this bridge. And keep in mind that this is all going to be at an angle. So right now I'm just dealing with 90-degree angles, but in reality, this is going to come over here. So you can see this is kind of the design that we're going to go with. We have a 1x2 piece here, 1x4s on the sides, and then mounted on here will be an exact replica of this portion. And what's going to happen is when you slot this piece in, if you're watching, you can see that it'll just slide right down on there, and then this is locked in, and that can't go from side to side or anything. And then to prevent it from going forward and backwards, over on the other side of this bridge, we'll have the exact same thing. This will just slot right down in there and it'll be locked in place. So it's kind of simple, but that's what we're going with. So I guess we'll just jump right into construction now. Alright, so here's the frame that we've just built. Sorry I didn't capture much of the construction, but I just want to explain what we've done so far. Eventually we're going to have some plywood over the top of this, but this gives you kind of a good idea of how we designed this and how we constructed it. So as I talked about earlier, we have these 1x2 cross pieces on the end. And what that allows us to do is have a 1x2 piece in here just slot right below it. And then we have these 1x4s on the side for added strength. They also act as guides when this slides down into place. And then 1x4 cross pieces here and there creates kind of a triangle structure on both ends. Again, increasing strength and stability. And it was also just helpful when we were trying to align these angled pieces. And this is actually kind of tough cutting these angles. And then you have to awkwardly screw in these screws and they protrude, but we got those all shaved off. So now it's all clean. And then I'm going to take it down here. I'll show you how this works over here. So, well actually I didn't show you, my bad. You can see we have this little overhang. We cut this out. This is the concept behind it. So here's where one end of the bridge is going to mount, and this is actually permanent framework. This is the west end of the yard. So we just have this little lip here that we've cut. There's basically an exact copy of this 1x2 that's on the end here. So then what happens is you see kind of it just kind of notches in right there. So you just slide it right down if we can get this to work. Alright, so there you go. Right now it's a little snug because you always want to make it a little bigger than it needs to be, so now we're going to kind of shave it down, but as you can see, it fits in there perfectly, so we're just going to kind of round some of the corners, and we still actually need to install the overhang over here, so we kind of had to rig this all up so it worked out as it did over here, and then we already have this cut. We just need to screw this in place, make sure everything's snug and where it needs to be, and then we should be done, besides the plywood. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll come right back. Alright guys, so we got that final support piece in here. So we already showed you this. That was in there, cut at an angle. Now we did basically the same thing here, except this is actually mounted on the face, whereas this one was mounted underneath the frame and kind of like came out from the lip. This is just mounted on the face of this benchwork here. So same idea, cut it at the proper angle to match this frame. Excuse me, and now this is all permanent. So we're not done here, clearly. There's still a lot to do, so I'm going to have a follow-up video at some point. I just need to do a few more things around here before we get to completing this, since clearly we need to do some fascia, we need to do the plywood on top, and we need to talk about the electrical connection and all that. But I'm just not in a place to do that right now, since I need to work on some other things But when we come back to this, I'll definitely have another video talking about that. So just consider this part 1. I'll have part 2 later on down the road. Also keep in mind that Ryan from BNSF Railfans will be here in just a few days. So I'm going to get working on the sub-road bed as much as I can. I don't know if I'll complete it by the time he's here, but hopefully I'll be able to do most of it. And then I already have about 105 feet of flex track in, and then 6 or 7 turnouts. Those just came in. So once he gets here, we'll start to lay track, and we'll see some trains running. So I'm really excited for that, and look for more videos soon. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned.